Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, dear students? This is Pakistan International School Thai's virtual learning system. I'm Miss Shazia, and this is biology class for grade 8th. Now we will see cellular organizations of chapter number 1, Introduction to Biology, in lecture number 4. Let's get started. Dear students, cellular organization. Cellular organization means how the cells are organized and arranged in living organisms. If you remember the previous lesson, we have studied about the levels of organization. Yes, levels of organization of this world of the living organisms. But here, and as we know, that cell is the basic unit of all living organisms. But here we will talk about that cell and how the cell is organized. What do you mean by this? We will see here. If you see in your book cellular organizations, you will see all the organisms have been divided into 5 major groups. If you see all around you, you find lots of different organisms present around you. Some you can see and some you cannot see. So all the living organisms which live on the earth, scientists have divided them into 5 major groups. So these 5 major groups are prokaryotes, protists, fungi, plants, and animals. And we will see them later on in the next slide. So this means the organisms are arranged into different groups according to their cell arrangement, according to the type of the cell, and according to the number of the cells. If you see here, all organisms are made up of cells. There are 2 basic types of cells. The organisms in 5 groups are made up of prokaryotic cells, while the other organisms are having eukaryotic cells. So it means these 5 groups are divided into 2 major kinds of cells. Number 1, prokaryotic, and number 2, eukaryotic cells. Cells organize in, okay. So these 5 groups are made up of 2 different groups. Now these 2 different groups are also organized in 3 ways. Cells make unicellular organisms, colonial organisms, and multicellular organisms. So these 3 types of cells, they are present in these 5 groups. So in this lesson, we will talk about 3 main points. Number 1, 5 groups. This one. Number 2, 2 basic types of cells, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And number 3, that are 3 ways to make the bodies: unicellular, multicellular, and a colonial type of cells. Here, this is number 2. So let's explain and let's understand how these cellular organizations is happened. Okay, if you see in this number first type, that organisms are divided into or classified into 5 groups and kingdoms. Actually, taxonomy, which you have studied before, that is the study of these 5 groups in detail. But right now here we are just having concept of this. So that is divided into animals. Animal is the highest rank of these 5 groups. Acha, one more thing here, that the group of these living organisms, the highest group, that is called kingdom. So in the third chapter, you will study about kingdoms. So we will talk about not the groups, but they are called as kingdom. So if we talk about from the lower one, so that is Monera. Monera, and in the previous you have, it was written in your book, that is Protista or Protist. Sorry, not Protist actually, that is Prokaryotes. Because Protist is the other group. Prokaryotes. Its other name is kingdom Monera, or they are called prokaryotes. Okay, if you see this, the lower one, so that is kingdom Monera or kingdom which are having very, very primitive organisms, and these are only and only bacteria. Actually, that it is, look at the base of this tree. So they are called that they are the ancestors of other living organisms. Other living organisms originate or arise from this group. Okay, so the next one is Protista. Protista. You see kingdom Protista? They are having some algae and amoeba and some other unicellular and some multicellular organisms as well. Next one you see fungus kingdom, or that is called group fungi. So you see here this one, in which mushrooms are included, most probably rhizopus, that the mold, the fungi that you see sometimes on the breads, on rotten fruits, that is fungi. You see kingdom Plantae or plant kingdom, plant group, that you know all the plants which are green in color. And the animals, the highest most rank. All the animals, whether they live in sea, on the land, the desert, anywhere, they are birds, they are whatever they are. So they are included in kingdom Animalia. So whenever you write, you'll start from kingdom Monera, or that is called prokaryotes, then protists, then fungi, then plants, and then animal. So we'll take the first letter of this, M, M, P, F, P, A, and you can make the key for to remember that. So organisms of the same kingdom share similarities. Like if it is in animal kingdom, so all the animals you look, they are different, but they are having some similarities as well. That's why they are placed in animal kingdom. So animal kingdom are also divided into lots of groups to distinguish them, because snake is different, so lion is different, octopus is different, so fish is different, butterfly is different, so sparrow is different, so all they are different in their own way, so they are divided into further groups. You will study that in the next chapter number 3, inshallah. Okay, let's talk about the next group, the next point which we'll study here. You see here that there are, all these organisms are divided into two types of cells. These two types of cells are called prokaryotes and they are called eukaryotes. Prokaryotes and eukaryotes, you can see the difference of prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Can you find any difference? Yes, there are major difference in the structure inside the cell. We will discuss here one by one. Prokaryotes. Prokaryotes, they are the combination of two Greek words. Pro means first. First. It means first. Like at the very beginning of this universe, the first. Karyon means nut. But we take here its meaning nucleus, because nucleus looks like a nut and in that there are chromosomes present, so that that nucleus is an enclosed body, it is having covering around it, so that's why. So any organism lacking a distinct membrane bound nucleus as opposed to eukaryotes, means that is different from eukaryotes. Pro means first, karyon means nucleus. So it means these organisms are those which arise before the origin of the nucleus, before the arising of the nucleus. So it means they are not having proper nucleus and their DNA is, look, floating in the whole cytoplasm. Eukaryote. Eukaryote, that is also Greek word, and eu means true, karyon means the same nut or a nucleus. So it means it is having true nucleus, means these organisms, whether they are single celled or they are multicellular like human beings, so their cells are having proper nucleus which is having outer membranous structure like this. Here you can see the difference. Here there is no proper membrane like this around the DNA, but here we are having and it is a ball-like structure. The other difference is there that they are prokaryotes are very simple and they do not have those organelles which are having membranes like mitochondria, like Golgi apparatus, like endoplasmic reticulum, they don't have, my prokaryotes don't have. So it means prokaryotes are those organisms which are less complicated than eukaryotes, and what is its defining feature, that it does not have nucleus, it has no nucleus. So the DNA of prokaryotes or chromosomes of prokaryote floats free in the cytoplasm. So prokaryotic cells are also a lot similar than the eukaryotic cell. This is another major difference. The examples, prokaryotic organisms are mostly, not only mostly, but they are only unicellular organisms, and they are bacteria most probably. If we see here eukaryotic cell, you can see this one animal cell and this one plant cell. It is having proper boundary or proper cell membrane around the nucleus. That's why it is called eukaryotic cell. So animals that has cell nucleus and whose cells are organized into complex structures. Like if you see there, that is too much complex. It is having lots of membrane bounded organelles also. So you are made of prokaryotes. You are the best example, prokaryotic cells, and all animals also having eukaryotic cells. If you don't remember, so tip to remember is you can use you, it means you, and you are composed of eukaryotic cells. Understand? Yes. Now let's take a look on the third point of this topic, that is cell is divided, sorry, organisms are divided on the number of cells they are having. So there are three different type of organisms here. Number one, unicellular. Uni means, yes, uni means one. Unicycle means one wheel cycle. Unicellular, uni means one, cellular means cells. So those organisms which are having one cell only, they are called unicellular organisms. All the life activities are carried out by only one cell. It means this is the whole body. This is the example of unicellular organisms, and this is amoeba. If you say amoeba, it is its nucleus, there are some vacuoles, there are some ribosomes, cytoplasm, and this is cell membrane only. This is very simple structure, but that is the whole body of this organism, and it depends on that, and it performs the all activities. You can see the other example, paramecium. It is a shoe-like structure. This is euglena, that is also unicellular organism. Next type of this organisms is colonial type. Colonial type of cellular organization. Many unicellular organisms live together, but they do not have any division of labor among them. This is the most important point in unicellular organisms. They all are unicellular organisms. It means they live independently as a one cell. So one cell is the whole body. But what happened? Sometimes these unicellular organisms come closer and they stick together and they form a colony-like structure, and they form the outer layer that is made up of very thin transparent jelly-like substance. Like they form this as a sphere in which there are lots of balls are present. So this sphere or this covering is called mucilage. It is made up of mucilage, and inside there are lots of cells, unicellular cells are present. And now there is no division of labor. What do you mean by division of labor? Labor means work, function, job. In the cells, every cell perform its own function. Every cell, they live together, but they perform their own function. They do not depend on others for different activities. For example, one cell is doing respiration, other is doing this is green wall work, so it is doing photosynthesis, it is doing protein synthesis. But this is not the case here. What happened? Every cell is independent on another, but they stick and live together. That is the same in colonial type, but they don't have any division of labor. So each unicellular organism in colony lives its own life and does not depend on other cells for its vital requirement. Vital means very, very important requirement for the life, like protein making, like breathing, like photosynthesis, etc. So the best example for that is volvox. Volvox is green alga, or that is called algae, and found in water that shows colonial organization. So hundreds of volvox cells combine and make a colony like this. Number third of this third group, multicellular organization. In multicellular organizations, cells are organized in the form of tissues, as we have seen in levels of organizations, that the first one is cells is the basic unit. Before we are having atomic, subatomic, atomic, molecular, and organelle level. They are but cell is the basic unit of a structure of living organism. So that's why cells are organized in tissues, then tissues organized in organs, organs organized in organ systems, and organ systems form a body. So here in your book, the best example is given is frog, and from the plants it's mustard. They are multicellular organisms. If you see now, we will see some examples of unicellular organisms. These are all bacteria. Look, these are all bacteria, but look, they have formed colony. If you see, these are they stick together. If you see, this is amoeba, euglena, and paramecium. They all are protists. There are some algae. You can see Chlamydomonas algae and unicellular fungus that is called yeast. Yes, Saccharomyces, that is that yeast which we use for the baking purposes. That is also unicellular organism. You see here we are having some examples of colonial organisms. So that is volvox. You see here the cells are separate, but soon they come closer together, and like this blue one, they are forming a very thin mucilage layer around it. So they are rounded in structure, and look, there are lots of cells which are gathered together, and but there is no division of labor. If you see in this diagram, that is a microscopic diagram, and that is called micrograph, and you can see lots of cells are stuck together. Now we'll see some examples of multicellular organisms. So if we see, all these are multicellular organisms. They are having trillions of cells, and we can see them with our naked eye. So let's take a look on the two examples which are given in your book. Mustard plant, that is from the plant kingdom or group Plantae, and that is multicellular organism. If you see its scientific name is Brassica campestris. Actually, you have to remember these scientific names as well. So they are sown in winter, like they are grown in winter, and they produce a seed at the end of the winter. The plant body is used as vegetable. Definitely, we use it like Pakistani students know about this. We say it's saag in Urdu, and we use it for eating purpose, and its seeds are also used for extracting oil, that is called mustard oil, which we use for massage purpose and for cooking as well, and in lots of other purposes. The organs of the body can be divided into two groups, whose body plant this mustard body on the basis of their functions. So root, stem, branches, and leaves are vegetative organ. So plant body is divided into two parts. One is vegetative and other is reproductive. Vegetative means which gives us vegetables, and we use them for cooking and some other purposes. But some parts are have called reproductive parts because they are having sexual reproduction, and they are called flowers. These flowers, yes, they are um, they take part in sexual reproduction. What is this? You remember the previous class 7th, in that you have studied about sexual and asexual reproduction. Okay, and because in sexual reproduction, then they produce seeds and fruits that we eat later on. Okay, the next from the animals, we are having examples of frog. The frog has the scientific name Rana tigrina, and it is showing multicellular organization. And whenever we want to see uh, different systems of the body, so we see this dissection of this Rana tigrina, and we can see the how the systems are organized in the body. That consists of all the organs are made up of definitely uh, four specific kind of tissues: epithelial tissues, that is of the skin; glandular tissues, which are present in the body, and they are glands, and they form some secretions like hormones, which are helpful in the body growth. The next one is muscular tissues, which are for the movement of certain organs; and the nervous, which coordinate it to the whole of the body. So organs are arranged in organ systems, and then they form a body. And dissection of frog we will see inshallah in our practical. Yes, dear students, just take a look of this topic, that cells are first divided into 5 groups. What are these? Recall them. Yes, prokaryotes, protists, fungi, yes, plants, and then animals. Very good. Then they are divided into 2 different types of cells. What are these? From P, prokaryotes; from U, eukaryotes. Yes. And then they are divided into according to the number of cells as well. Organisms may be unicellular, which are composed of one cell only. Number which are animals which are composed of many specialized cells, they are called multicellular organisms. And the organisms which lack specializations means they are not having special systems and special organs, just unicellular organisms. They are they stick together, come together, and they make colonial like structure, and they don't have division of labor. Yes, dear students, that's it for today. By this, we have completed our chapter number 1. Alhamdulillah, congratulations to you all. And I hope you understood it well, and you got the lots of information about the life. It is just beginning of biology. Okay, so let's see some questions which are left in the exercise. You can do it on your note copy notebook as well. So but you have to do it by yourself because they are very easy, and the answer you can find from the book. Arrange these structures in order to in order of lower level of organizations to upper level. Write the level against each structure. Now from here they have given you some structures, and according to that you have to mention level of organization. So best way is to make a table, like this, and here and that side you write the structures, and here you write the levels of organization. You have to start in ascending order. First you have to write the lower one. What is the lower one which we have studied? Atomic level. Yes, you see what is atomic? Atom here, neuron, carbon. Yes, here is carbon. So this is an atom. Then we see molecule, that is mitochondria, brain, protein. Yes, that is molecule. So here you write protein and here you write molecular level. And then like that you arrange them in the table. The next one, we have seen this question number 2, question number 3, and question number 4 as well. Question number 5, how would you distinguish the biomolecules from other molecules? Like how the biomolecules are formed and what are these? What is the difference between biomolecules and other molecules? And what is the criterion for the classifying a biomolecule as micromolecule or macromolecule? So first you will write about biomolecules and then you write its like how they are distinguished and classified into macro and micro molecules. Number 6 is levels of organization of life. This is too long. You just remember and learn it, and just make your concepts strong by repeating this again and again. Number 7, is there any division of labor among the cells of colony? Yes or no? You have to write the answer. If you find division of labor among the cells, if you find division of labors among the cell and tissues, what level of cellular organization it is? So you have to give the answer of them. So here in short question, define biotechnology and what do you mean by horticulture and how is it related to agriculture? So horticulture and agriculture are related too much. They are too much similar, but there are little differences as well. You can see from the topics and write them. Define biotechnology. You have done it already. So that's it for today. Wish you all the best, inshallah. Inshallah, we'll see in the next lecture, inshallah.